On a cold December night in 1964, one of the greatest voices in American music, Sam Cooke, was found dead on the floor of a small Los Angeles motel. The official story claimed self-defense. The police said Cooke was the aggressor. But the evidence, the inconsistencies, and the eerie silence from powerful figures tell a story far more complicated and far more sinister. Why did Sam Cooke, a polished, dignified superstar known as the King of Soul, end up shot by a motel manager in a rundown building miles from his home? Why were his clothes missing? Who was the woman who fled with his money? And why did the LAPD rush to close the case within hours? Some believe Cooke had become a threat to the music industry, holding secrets about money, rights, and corruption. Others point to the FBI, organized crime, or powerful businessmen who knew he was becoming too influential, too political, too independent, too bold. Tonight we unravel the haunting final hours of Sam Cooke and explore the mysterious death of a man who changed music forever. Sam Cooke wasn't just another singer, he was a revolution. A man whose smooth voice transcended genres, whose charisma lit up every stage, and whose ambition pushed him far beyond being just an entertainer. But with that ambition came conflict, disputes with record labels, battles over royalties, and a growing desire to own his masters, control his business, and empower black artists in an industry dominated by powerful white executives. As Sam rose higher, the pressure increased. And behind the fame, there were shadows, people he trusted who betrayed him, partners who manipulated him, and forces that benefited from his downfall. Tonight, we go deep into the truth, the lies, and the unanswered questions surrounding the tragic end of Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was born in 1931 in Mississippi before moving to Chicago, where gospel music shaped the foundation of his voice and identity. He began as a gospel singer with the Soul Stirrers, mesmerizing audiences with a voice so pure and powerful that critics called him angelic. Yet Sam wanted more. He wanted to take gospel's emotional power into the mainstream. In the late 1950s, he transitioned to pop and soul, creating hits like You Send Me, Chain Gang, Cupid, and the timeless anthem, A Change Is Gonna Come. But Cooke wasn't just a singer, he was a businessman. He started his own record label, his own publishing company, and fought fiercely for ownership of his music. He understood the financial exploitation of black artists and wanted to change the system, but that made him a target. Sam Cooke was rising too fast, gaining too much influence, and challenging too many people who preferred the status quo. And in the months leading up to his death, many said Sam was becoming more outspoken and more dangerous to those in power. On December 10, 1964, Sam Cooke left his home wearing a new sports coat, carrying a large amount of cash, and driving his red Ferrari. He planned to spend the evening dining with friends and possibly meeting business contacts who could help him expand his music empire. But somewhere along the way, everything spiraled into confusion. He met a woman named Elisa Boyer, whose story would later become central to the mystery. They left a restaurant together, and according to Boyer, Sam drove her to a motel she never wanted to go to. According to Sam's friends, he was drugged. According to others, he was set up. What is clear is that Sam Cooke, one of the most famous men in America, ended up at the seedy Hacienda Motel, a place completely out of character for someone of his status. Boyer claimed Sam became aggressive, yet others believed she was part of a robbery setup. That night, she fled the motel room with his clothes and wallet, leaving Cooke confused, half-dressed, and desperate to figure out what had happened. What followed next would seal his fate. In a state of panic or confusion, Sam Cooke pounded on the motel's office door, wearing only a coat and a single shoe. He demanded answers, shouting that someone had stolen his money and clothes. The motel manager, Bertha Franklin, later claimed that Sam broke the door open and attacked her. But this version of events contradicts physical evidence. Franklin was unharmed, and Cooke's fingerprints on her wristwatch were never found. Franklin said she feared for her life and shot Sam once in the chest. According to police records, Sam Cooke died on the spot, bleeding on the cement floor, whispering only, "Lady, you shot me." But several witnesses nearby reported hearing more than one gunshot, voices that didn't match Franklin, and footsteps running outside the motel. No deeper investigation, no check for motive, no interrogation of the woman who fled with his belongings. The LAPD quickly ruled the killing as justifiable homicide. They insisted Sam Cooke was drunk, aggressive, and responsible for his own death. But many parts of the story simply didn't add up. There were bruises on his body inconsistent with Franklin's version. There was virtually no investigation into the woman Sam had been with. No attempt to trace the stolen money. No inquiry into why Sam, a controlled and dignified man, would behave so wildly. Even the autopsy raised questions. Cooke had minimal alcohol in his system, and no clothing fibers or fingerprints on Franklin's supposed injuries supported her claim of a violent struggle. Those close to him believed the police had already decided the outcome before collecting evidence. Why was such a high-profile case treated so lightly? And why did the music industry remain silent? Since 1964, numerous theories have emerged, explaining what really could have happened that night. Some believe Sam Cooke was set up by people connected to the music industry, individuals who were benefiting enormously from his royalties, while he planned to take control of his business and expose corruption. Others claim organized crime was involved, as the mafia allegedly controlled parts of the Los Angeles nightclub and recording scene during the 1960s. Cooke was becoming a powerful independent businessman, and that threatened several large networks. Another theory revolves around COINTELPRO, the secret FBI program that monitored influential black figures. Sam Cooke was becoming more political, especially after releasing A Change Is Gonna Come. Some researchers suggest he was seen as a threat, like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. His growing activism, combined with his rising economic power, may have made him a target. Still others believe the entire incident was a robbery setup, orchestrated by multiple people who knew Sam carried large amounts of cash. Boyer's story changed several times, and her background contained troubling ties to previous incidents. The truth is hidden in a maze of lies, missing evidence, and silence from people who likely knew far more than they ever revealed. Sam Cooke's death shocked America, but his music lived on. His influence shaped artists from Otis Redding to Michael Jackson, from Stevie Wonder to modern R&B legends. A Change Is Gonna Come became an anthem for the civil rights movement. Yet behind his beautiful voice remains a dark shadow of injustice, secrecy, and unanswered questions. For many fans, Sam Cooke didn't just die, he was taken. And until the truth is revealed, his final night will remain one of the most haunting mysteries in music history. Sam Cooke changed music forever. He gave the world a voice of hope, passion, and soul. But the way he died, alone, confused, and surrounded by unanswered questions, will always feel incomplete. Was it a setup? A robbery? A conspiracy? Or a mix of all three? We may never know the full truth. But what we can do is keep his legacy alive and keep asking the questions that others tried to bury. This is the story of Sam Cooke, the king of soul, whose mysterious death still echoes through history.